All right, Algebra 2, we're working hard. We are on lesson 1-2. We're simplifying expressions. Our essential question today is, can you simplify expressions correctly? I guess the key word there is correctly. All right, let's look into see what a numerical expression is. Notice a numerical expression is a symbol or group of symbols used to represent a number. For example, 3 times 4. That's a numerical expression. 12, that's a numerical expression. 24 divided by 2. I think this one actually said 5 plus 5 plus 2 because I believe these were all equivalent to 12. That is a numerical expression. A value. A value is a number represented by the expression. 12 is the value of 3 times 4. Next definition. Equation. An equation is a sentence formed by placing an equal sign between two expressions. 3 times 4 is 12. 36 divided by 4 is equal to 1 times 9. An inequality symbol is one of the symbols that you see below, and I'm going to highlight a few of them. This is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal. I know that 3 plus 9 is less than 20. 3 plus 9 is not equal to 3 times 9. 7 is less than or equal to 1 plus 6, and 8 is greater than or equal to 0. Inequality, a sentence formed by placing an equality symbol between two expressions. So, negative 3 is greater than negative 5. Negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 0.3. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is make this statement true. Use less than, equal, or greater than to make this statement true. So let's solve this stuff first. I know that 3 times 7 is 21, and 12 plus 7 is 19, and I know 21 is greater than 19. So typically in class, I have students identify words with each of these symbols. I do see words like add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And one thing I try to encourage them is to understand that the grouping words, when you hear the word sum, you want to group that stuff together. When you hear difference, you want to group together. When you hear product, same thing, you want to group. And when you hear quotient, so if you say the quotient of 9 and 3, and a couple other things, a lot of times, it's really easy when you hear more than. I know 1 more than 6 is 7, but if I hear less than, a lot of times students get this backwards. So I always tell students to star, circle, highlight, because if I say 1 less than 6, notice how I read that. I read it this way, 1 less than 6. I read it one way, I wrote it the other way. And the reason I do that is because 6 minus 1 is 5. Think about what the words are saying, 1 less than 6. Other things that people forget about, they forget about the word of, 2/3 of 6. A lot of times people forget that. All right, let's continue on. We're just going to look at a bunch of more definitions and things here. Power, base, exponent. So let's talk about these. We know that this is the base number. This is the exponent. This is the base. And what this is saying is 3 to the first power is just 3. 3 squared is 3 times 3. 3 to the third, 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the fourth, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Grouping symbols. Parentheses are grouping symbols. Brackets are grouping symbols. And a fraction line. It's called a vinculum. And that would be like 2/3. If I had a fraction line and I had 2 plus 5 over 10 minus 1, we would say 7 over 9. And from there we would reduce. All right, another thing that I tell students to remember is why is PEMDAS wrong? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. And a lot of times people literally take that to heart. Multiplication, then division. No, we have to multiply and divide from left to right and add and subtract from left to right. So if I was to start here, I'm going from left to right. So I would start with 27 divided by 3, which is 9. 9 minus 3 times 2, I'm going to write it up here. 9 minus 3 times 2. I would then go to the multiplication, 9 minus 6, and the answer here is 3. So a lot of times people get PEMDAS wrong because they don't go from left to right. So I'm going to keep that up here, and we're going to do this next one together. Are there parentheses in the next question? Yes. 9 minus 3 is in parentheses. And I always encourage my students to write and write and write again. Then are there exponents? Sure. 6 squared is 36. Alrighty. Is there multiplication or division? Remember, these go from left to right. Yes, right here. We know that this is going to be 9. 36 divided by 4 is 9. And then addition and subtraction, we know this will be 8. How'd you guys do on that one? All right, to continue with my why is PEMDAS wrong, I'm going to ask you where we would start here. Are there parentheses? No. Exponents? No. Multiplication and division, we're going to go from left to right. So I'm going to start here. I know it's tempting to start with the 16 divided by 8 because you guys can do that. But we're going to start with 16 times 4, which is 64. And again, I tell my students to write and write and write again. Multiplication and division from left to right. Now there's division. 64 divided by 8 is 8. And then we're going to do addition and subtraction also from left to right. 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 minus 5 is 12. So if you had done that wrong,